All right. Welcome to the first official week of the new year. I don't know if I'm going to do this every single day, but I want to let you in behind the scenes, pull back the curtain, and share with you something that I was doing on the radio ever since Casey, my fiance, moved from Richmond to Houston, Texas. And one thing I thought was always interesting to do was to go around and look at the different news pages and show prep services that this radio station subscribed to and have some fun putting together a little personal podcast. And so every day, during the week, I should say, that I did the radio show, I would also put together a 2 or 3 minute little thing and send to her. Now, of course, there was some mushy stuff, and then, of course, there were some important things locally or something that was coming up, something between us where I'd be flying down to Houston or she would be traveling here. So I put together a podcast based on 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, just depending on how long things took. And the outpouring of support to me of people saying, I just miss getting something from you. So I don't know that I want to do a video each and every day. We do on the OnVine Media page. Hopefully you've liked that page and are following us. We'll do a video twice a week maybe. And I've got some podcasts that are coming up, longer interviews with people from the area or people that I think are interesting. So doing a daily video of this, like Jeff Lane and I used to do for a news update, I don't know, it just seems like it's a lot of work. And not that I'm lazy, but I've got other things going on and trying to find ways to make money in town. And so I like doing this mainly because I can send it to Casey. But I asked her, I said, would you be okay if maybe I started doing these and then also sent them to our podcast page, which is on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Love for you to follow it if you don't mind. So maybe from here on out, these will get a little bit shorter because I'm running long talking about why we're doing these. But maybe we do one tomorrow. Maybe we don't. Subscribe to the page and find out. So here you are, both fans of the pod and also Casey. And what we can do is at least roll some WAV files so you can listen to this on Facebook if you're not up for figuring out how to download a podcast. But if you ever want to see, I'll be sure to show you. All right, let's get to some newsworthy things. With the holidays, it's just sort of shitty to try to figure out how to follow the news, or maybe if you still follow all the news and you're also trying to enjoy the holidays, you kind of throw that into a waste paper basket and say, I'm just going to not watch the news. I'm going to turn off the Twitter. And so maybe maybe you don't know. Certainly if you're involved at all with current events, you know that there is this issue brewing with Iran and with the president and the killing of the second in command over there in Iran and what's going to happen next. Well, the president tweeting out all morning, but then also over the weekend, that the U.S. has already targeted 52 areas or places of significance in Iran to bomb if they need to. I think showing your cards, maybe that gets some people to kind of take pause, or it really beefs up security, or it continues to provide or push or put pressure on the Iran economy. So just so you know that is out there, that the president has already said, here are 52 different spots where we're going to target if you decide to retaliate against us. And politics aside, maybe not what we expected the first full part of the year. What we really need is we really need to know what's going on with impeachment. Let's move on here. Golden Globes were last night. Host Ricky Gervais rips into Hollywood last night for their hypocrisy. It was probably heard outside of Los Angeles, probably more than than inside the city and, of course, inside that theater. The big winners were the movie 1917 for Best Drama, which is actually going to hit the theaters coming up this weekend. And then also Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino, Leo DiCaprio, as well as Brad Pitt were both in that. I watched that. Casey and I both watched that. What? That movie was weird. But it was a big winner over the night. Brad Pitt winning for supporting actor. You got Quentin Tarantino winning for director. I don't know. Tom Hanks, Ellen DeGeneres, both receiving notable honors, great speeches, and really Ricky Gervais's opening monologue, for those of us that kind of wince every now and then when we see Hollywood doing something hypocritical, really took him to task, and so that's worth downloading and watching. A couple other things on TV. America's Got Talent, The Champions. That is coming back. Heidi Klum also returning as judge with Howie Mandel and Simon Cowell. Box office, The Rise of Skywalker continues to hold the tight number one spot on the box office. It wasn't nominated for any awards, interestingly enough. There's 170,000 people just sitting on Las Vegas today. It's the annual Consumer Electronics Show. Some of the new products are 8K TVs. Yes, that's right. Your 4K is now out of date. Artificial intelligence devices, flying cars, and also next-level sex toys. You're welcome. First track from Justin Bieber's fifth album called Yummy has dropped. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, they were at the Golden Globes last night. They were sitting behind Tom Hanks. The couple donated $500,000 to help fight those Australian bushfires. So has Pink. And Russell Crowe didn't even go to the Golden Globes. He won an award, but he was busy actually fighting the fires. So that's interesting enough. Also, and this, it kind of seems like we're heavy Hollywood today, but there is this trend of celebrities starting the new year by tipping a server $2,020. Donnie Wahlberg has done it with an IHOP worker. It's just called the 2020 tip challenge. Maybe I could afford a $20 20-cent tip challenge. Can we bring this down to my level a little bit? In Omaha, Nebraska, a woman was pulled over with suspicion of driving under the influence. She blew a .256. She said she didn't have very much to drink. Was not impaired because she's a professional driver. In Florida last Tuesday, New Year's Eve, 20-year-old man was awakened by a guy who had broken into his house and started sucking on his toes. And Dr. Phil selling his Hollywood home for just $5.75 million. A lot of people starting off the new year. Plant-based proteins and food are hot, especially with Burger King's Impossible Whopper. The wellness benefits of following a plant-based diet, even if it's only one day a week, are numerous. Research showing that vegetarians tend to have a lower LDL, that bad cholesterol, blood pressure, body mass index. Plant-based proteins can be as hearty as meat-containing entrees, and they've got more fiber and antioxidants. That is from Women's Day magazine. When you choose someone to marry, you may not realize that you're falling in love with more than the sense of humor and fabulous physique. One of the traits that attracts us to our mates is our educational achievement. It turns out educational DNA is one of the sparks that helps light that romantic fire. Recent research is revealing that 2 minutes of high-intensity exercise in 30-second intervals can really be just as effective as a moderate 30-minute aerobic workout. That doesn't mean you should only exercise for 120 seconds. Longer cardio sessions, still great for heart health and a variety of other reasons, but it is a good reminder to add some higher intensity moments to your routine. Wind sprints, short burst of some rope jumping perhaps. As a former thumb jumper, that would be a good thing to do. A new study reveals 83% of adults in the U.S. own a cell phone, 73% text, 31% of them would actually rather send and receive written notes than to talk to you on the phone. The average adult in the United States sends 41 and a half messages per day. How about kids 18 to 24? 110 messages. That's 3,200 texts per month. It does not say if Snapchat has been added to this. Okay, couple things before you go. You're So Vain by Carly Simon. Number 1 on the U.S. Top 40 charts. Stayed there for 3 weeks. Also, back on this date in 1994, Why? Figure skater Nancy Kerrigan was clubbed on the knee, just as someone told a joke and said, hey, isn't that a knee slapper? I don't know. That's a weak joke. Never mind. A couple of birthdays to share with you. Howie Long is 60. Volleyball player Gabrielle Reese is 50. And Kate McKinnon, who was an introductory host, or introduced, I should say, Ellen DeGeneres last night at the Golden Globes for her honor. Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live, also the movie Ghostbusters, turning 36 today. All right, that is what may be the first and last daily pod that you get from me. I don't know. It's not. I'm not trying to be lazy, but I've got other stuff going on, right? So I don't know. Like it, share it, have some fun with it. Peace.